board back on so the switches have contact so you can turn it on and actually mess with it?
It was the brown side was facing out.
Yeah. Well, there's still plenty of points on the components here to kind of touch around.
So you can still connect leads there.
Yeah. To be honest, though, this particular thing is controlled by a crystal, which is this thing right here. And if you short these two pins, you'll get some glitching, but it's not going to be like insanely awesome. But I mean, one thing you can do is either tape these switches onto these points here. We could do that, or put the board back and then throw. Yeah, let's go find some tape.
Hotspot on one of the A point, you can theoretically touch every other B point and see what the sonic result will be. Oh, actually. I mean, SK1 is like kind of a gold mine for that as well.
We need 3 switches, but we need 1 switch.
There you go. Those are all really nice sounds. And we'll try a different beat and see how that sounds kind of similar to the same. Okay, so. And that's, I mean, that's the kind of the process that we teach people. Like, very cool. I like that sound you're finding too. I like this video. And sometimes it's a dead end like that. You know, the sonic shortcut doesn't have any kind of results that is audible.
Yeah, sometimes it'll kill it too.
Yeah. I mean, you can have a citywide blackout as well, where you can make, like you're saying, you can make a connection, and that connection point was never supposed to be made, and so. But those sound really beautiful. So. I'm gonna mark that one too. Those are cool because they're kind of cracking across the stereo speakers and everything. So
that's interesting. I hadn't really thought about this, but this is one of those stereo ones, isn't it?
Yeah. And I had to put like 2 1/4-inch. I don't know why I did that, but I put 2 1/4-inch mono outputs on the outside of it to kind of give it the full stereophonic sound.
Yeah. That makes sense. Does it have a stereo output or just like a mono mix of...
It did, but it died out. So I was just like trying to be clever.
Yeah, it works.
You can go 2 anywhere.
Oh. Probably a bad neighborhood you're in there.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And usually if I find like a hot spot or whatever, I'll just keep on I'll try to touch every other point on the board and see what the sound is. So there you go. Cool. How's it going over there?
That's pretty fun.
What do you think, Sue?
Fun.
There's a procedure which I've devised, and also a circuit that will do this for us, which is modify the clock. The circuit is right here. I stayed up really late last night etching these boards. You guys will need one. Let's see who else. There's a grip room here, so if you want to come up and try it, you're more than welcome to it. Save one for later and come to the later date. Let's see, where did mine go? Okay. So let me show you what this thing actually is, if you can't see. It has a little chip on it, and chip is an integrated circuit. And there's a whole lot of components in this little black dot right here. It has interface pins, which are sort of the controls for this chip. And these interface pins interface to things like this, which is a potentiometer, and also this blob right here is called a capacitor. And there's output pins, power pins, and so forth. And that's what makes this thing come alive. So, this is very basic actually as far as circuits go. It's one of the most common circuits out there. And on the back of the handout, if you're lucky enough, if you're one of the 30 people which got a handout today, you will see sort of the schematic for it. So, you may be able to show this to your friends and be like, wow, check this out. Okay, for this, where did Patrick go? Oh, he's busy mingling. Okay. Never mind. I'll need you in just a second for sure. Okay.
Does everyone have a handout? I'm going to hand this handout file to this gentleman here, and he's going to pass it on.
You get me in charge, man. Okay. Doesn't that feel awesome to be in charge? Yeah. It's badass. So sorry guys, this might be a little heavy for some people, but you know, hopefully the results will demonstrate themselves and get you more interested in these things. Kind of, oh, thank you guys. There's tape on that and I can't manage to
Pretend there's a bunch of screws.
Okay, yeah, pretend there's a bunch of screws in this thing and it's never been opened before. Yeah, this method just kind of goes to demonstrate that there is a way to modify toys which appear to be unbendable at first and kind of have fun with it and sort of a little more advanced topic. So. Okay, there's one piece of tape. Here. Got it. One piece of tape.
Oh, there's two of them?
There's two pieces of tape.
Oh, I wasted all my comedy on the first piece?
Well, you're gonna have to step it up a notch.
I'm trying.
Okay, well, Patrick is wrestling with the tape.
Always check your props.
What the purpose of this circuit is basically something called clock injection. We're going to fool these keyboards into thinking they're receiving a different frequency clock than they actually are, as the fixed clock that's on the inside dictating. So, with the keyboard open, voila. Can we see that? Let me try and adjust focus if I can. Yeah. Okay, perfect. I need a pointy device. My finger won't do because it's going to appear huge on the screen. Oh, that's not going to do either. No, I don't like that. Maybe a pen of some sort. Pen, maybe. A marker, that was a...
I know it's not much small on your finger.
Well, I guess you're right.
How about this?
Okay, by comparison it is, well, rough. Okay, and that's, well, this is a little bigger. That's supposed to be a different finger.
You're cheating. It's way closer to the camera.
Alright, this keyboard consists of nothing more than blank, 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 boom. There's an IC. This is what makes the sounds. Okay, yeah, actually we'll leave this in a second. So this IC makes all the sounds, and there's not a lot of bending that you can do to it. Most of the pins go to the keyboard to interface with the keys and the buttons, and that's it. Then there's the sound outputs, and that's that. Rerouting these things with the wire is not going to do you much good. So we're going to do a different approach, and we're going to modify the clock externally of this thing. This little blob right here, it looks like a square, is what hides the crystal. And this crystal is an actual crystal. Quartz, probably. Not sure. But it's not worth much. It's pretty cheap. Okay. And one of the ways to identify these clock crystals is by looking at the board and seeing if it's something that's a tin, sort of like a silver container or a square plastic container, and something that's got these two round, what's called capacitors next to it. This part right here connects to the ground and it evens out the clock signal. And these two connect to the actual crystal. Okay, so that's how you find one. Let's see here. I'll try and do a little bit of a demonstration. Now the toy didn't do much, but it did stop the sound. And what happened was the crystal was shorted out. So that's how you can locate it. If you short it and nothing happens, then it's probably the crystal. Oakley dokley. So now, onto this module, which I have right here, is what's called a 555 timer. It's one of the, I think last time I read somewhere, the most popular integrated circuit out there, because it's used in a lot of things. And we are going to wire this thing to the keyboard. Obviously you need the power, which is these two wires twisted together, they're sticking out. And also you'll notice there's a schematic on the back of the worksheet which tells which one goes where. But this one right here is the ground, and this one at the bottom is the positive. So without further ado, let me go ahead and attach those. So please be with me. And Patrick, you want to tell a story while I'm Gary doing this?
Okay. Well, Alex is doing his craft. When you're from Chicago, you always have to tell a story about the train, and this is appropriate to a circuit bending class, I think. And this is one of my favorite stories, and it's a true story. I'm on the L train, and there are a lot of seats that face forward, a lot of seats that face backwards, and there's seats that face across from each other. And I'm one of these people that I'm on the train, and everyone's on the train or on the bus, whatever. They're on their cell phones, and it drives me nuts. Yeah, and just because for some reason when people on cell phones they get extra loud. I'm not sure why, but okay, they do. And there's this woman on the train. I'm sitting there, and I'm not in a very good mood. And she's having this huge argument on the cell phone. And I'm trying, in my head, I'm trying to picture the other side of this argument, you know. And there was something about dinner, and then there was something about a dog, and then she just went on, and I was like, my God, this is the craziest argument. You know, like she's really pissed off about a lot of stuff. And eventually she finishes her argument, and by now I'm so consumed with anger, I'm just like, oh. She's finally getting off the phone, and she goes to fold up her phone and put it away, and it wasn't a cell phone, it was a spoon. No, it's a true spoon, it was an actual spoon, a silver spoon, and she puts it in her purse, she's all still pissed off about her argument that she just had. And I was like, and I was thinking to myself, well, obviously she's crazy.
Oh, you
Put that anywhere.
There you go, thank you. But after dealing with the circuit bending community, I realized maybe this woman actually found a way to make a phone call on a spoon. Oh. So it's possible. So how's the bending going, Mr. Deepa?
Good, good. Thanks. We got the power mounted, one to the negative, which is the ground, and one to the positive, which is at the top here. And now this thing is live. Thank you. Because of this capacitor value, we cannot actually hear this signal. It is above the human hearing range, unfortunately. Unless you are some sort of a mix between a human and maybe a cat or a dog. They have pretty high hearing.
Or you can speak through spoons.
Or if you can speak through spoons, you might be able to hear this. So, right now this is wired, and theoretically it's live. Now this wire right here is where the signal comes out of. So, Patrick, let's see here, maybe we can get you to assist. Okay, I'll turn this thing on, and oops, let's flip this guy over.
Alright.
Okay. Okay, I'm pushing a button. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, I'm pushing a button. We can make a sound.
Okay.
I'll take this wire right
Yes.
here.
Yep.
And touch it to right the leg of that green capacitor.
Got this, the inner or outer leg?
The one that's closest to us.
Alright, I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm a circuit bender.
Oh, hold on, let's put the microphone to it.
Alright.
Hours of fun.
No, that's
that's actually interesting. You know.
Hold on. Oops. Oh.
No.
Let's get a drum beat going on that thing. Drum beats are really cool. But actually what was happening is that the sample inside of this keyboard was getting slowed down to the point where it was just like with this external circuit. Oh, this is going to be great. It's a grooving beat too. This is my
Knight Rider.
favorite. I wish more music was made with this beat. Hold on.
Welcome to the Roskala.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Well, hold on. We're gonna add one more part to this circuit, and what this is a switch, a momentary switch. When you push the button, it bridges the two gap points. So, just to make this easier on us and Patrick, doesn't have to go crazy with actually touching the wire. We'll add a switch. That's what switches are good for. Okay, Patrick. Hold on.
Yes.
We're gonna actually solder something right now. Okay. Now, you ready?
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna solder this. Oh, you don't talk about loud objects while I solder this.
Oh, sure.
Alex wants me to tell you about a group in New York called Loud Objects. They actually do, there's another group that's sort of like called a breadboard orchestra, and if you start getting into building your own circuits, you eventually end up with this thing called a breadboard. It's a little piece of plastic with a bunch of holes in it, for all intents and purposes. These guys actually, they were one of the coolest, if you ever get a chance to see these guys, they get on stage with the overhead projector and they just like put these chips up there and they start soldering stuff live. And at first there's like nothing, and then there's some crunchiness, and then there's like a couple of mistakes, and they're up there with their soldering irons and they burn each other and they swear under the breath, But all of a sudden like these pulses, and all of a sudden it starts sweating. They actually build a synthesizer for you like live, right in front of you. It's actually pretty kick-ass. So they got a website and stuff, so you can just do Google for Loud Objects and you can find them. So in a way, there's almost sort of a live circuit construction going on here.
I'm stealing their idea.
I do. It was worth stealing their idea, but we're stealing everything. We're stealing the. And what the 555 chip is. Who here does not know what a 555 chip is? Okay. What a 555 chip does is, it's a very simple thing. It just has, all it does is, it has like 6 little legs, and one leg says, if electricity is coming into me, I will turn the electricity off. And if no electricity is coming into me, I will turn the electricity on. So you can imagine, as soon as you start feeding electricity into it, it turns off. Now the electricity is off, so it turns back on. Now it's on, so it turns on. So it goes back and forth, so it's going on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. That's why they call it an oscillator chip. It oscillates between on and off. And then depending on, when he puts this, you can determine how quickly it oscillates. So, as opposed to having this crystal that's like vibrating and doing the oscillation, we're just simply using an oscillator chip. I'm sure that's all very clear to everyone now. But you can get a 555 chip anywhere. Okay.
We should go back to.
Grab this. So I'm going to inject the clock now.
Genius at work.
Yeah.
This is the whole show actually right here. For 2 hours.
Be sure to check out the tip jar.
Oh, that reminds me.
We're missing there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to try this, Patrick?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'd love to.
So what's happening right now, there's a potentiometer which changes the frequency of this clock, and the button injects the signal. So Patrick's going to play around with it.
Okay, hold on a sec. Hold on. Dudes, are you okay?
Yeah, that was awesome.
You need a cigarette? All right. This keyboard's got a pretty badass song. Hold on. Push. Shit.
You hold this down, and then
Yeah,
I think which one is it?
Crap. Is this the one? Damn. Actually, this isn't.
How about?
No, I didn't bring that one. It had it had Beatles "Hey Jude." That was pretty sweet.
Oh, well, this is nice. Christmas.
Okay.
Christmas is coming
Okay,
up.
Christmas coming up.
I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna lick my fingers, see if I can bend the bed.
Oh yeah. Yeah. See that?
Not a bending.
Yeah.
Take that 555 chip.
Yeah. Take that.
Take that.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
No, it's just really slow.
Oh. Believe it or not, this is Jingle Bells. Yeah, wow.
Let's see. We got. Okay, let's call it for the demo. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Patrick. That was actually, I've learned something today. I didn't think to do that. But yeah, that's one of the, Patrick's patented techniques is taking your finger and touching the circuit. And this is exactly what we're doing. This is a circuit that's fairly available on the internet. And also if you go to my website, getlofi.com, you'll be able to read up more about it probably next week because I haven't did anything with this yet. This is exclusive stuff that you guys are seeing right now. Now, don't tell me.
That's the lick and
Yeah.
stick method.
don't tell anybody. Because once somebody finds out about this, they'll be all over it. This is going to be on the news.
It's gonna revolutionize.
Yeah, this is going to be a revolution if somebody sees this and is like, oh man, I can pitch down a keyboard? Whoa.
You better keep it secret by posting it on the internet.
Yeah. Imagine the songs I'll be able to play if I can pitch this down. Get it in the right key and all. So, this kind of concludes the brief demo part, and thank you, Patrick, for assisting. If you guys are interested in trying that on your keyboard, I see some of you have one that will work. That one right there is going to be fine. Austin. You
Yeah, does anyone have a keyboard that didn't bend?
Yeah, is there something? Okay. So, maybe we can, well, we'll see what that one's got, but, I'll be around, ask questions. There's a few of these kits and some handouts. You're welcome to grab one for later use. Just appreciate my work that I did last night doing this. Actually, one of my friends was helping me, and I had a little sweatshop going on, where I would, give him the parts and he'd solder them in place. And he soldered one backwards. Well, he was docked a week's worth of pay for that. So, you don't mess around. Well, since his pay was 0, it really wasn't much, so he didn't feel it.
He didn't get his throat.
No, he didn't. Okay, so thank you very much. This was kind of an advanced demo. But I hope we can set up our stuff, and you guys have questions, come up to us. Me, Alex, Patrick, there, Tommy, Kyle, Jacob, Bianca, Austin, Rodney, and everybody else. Thank you very much, and who wants the microphone, huh? Okay, I gotta give it back, oh man. Okay, thank you.
So everybody feel free to stick around and keep playing. We're going to have performances from all of the people that have talked to you so far. At 7, we're going to have Alex, 7:30.
Actually,
We're gonna switch around.
number 5 would like to go.
Number 5 is going first
And
at
then
7.
second to the
Then we'll have Alex at 7:30. At 8, we'll have Beatrix. Is that right? And then who are we ending with? Roth Mobot.
Yep.
whichever.
Fantastic. So stick around and listen to some music.
All right. Ow!
So is this good? I think so. Are we good for speakers?
Rock Robot, everybody, all the way from Chicago, Illinois. Give them another round of applause. They deserve it. All right.
So that sums up our circuit bending showcase at Madison Pop Fest 2007. Thank you all for showing up. Can I get another round of applause to everybody, all the performances that performed tonight? If you're looking for more information about circuit bending, definitely check out Rodney and Tiger Claw Records, as well as all the artists you saw tonight. Or go to www.justsayingisall.com. We'll be running coverage of this event. Thanks for coming out, and have a good weekend. Also,
GetLofi.com.